Solving a compound linear inequality, graph the solution. Basic, it says. If we have a compound inequality, means you have two separate inequalities. Sometimes they have them smushed together as one. This means that the negative 12 is less than or equal to 4x plus 4, but the 4x plus 4 also has to be less than the 16. So if you wanted to, you could split it into two separate problems. However, I'm going to rewrite it down here. You end up doing the same steps. If I'm going to solve this problem here, the first thing I'm going to do is minus the 4, and same thing over here. So if I'm solving a compound inequality where I have something in the middle, instead of having to do two separate problems, I'm just going to do both sides of it. Here I want to get the x by itself, so when I move the x, I'm going to minus the 4 here and minus the 4 over here. Negative 16 is less than or equal to 4x, which is less than 12 then. Be the same thing as I got over here if I did them both separately. Same thing on my next step. My next step on both of these two equations here would be dividing by the 4. So when I divide by the 4 here, I have to divide by the 4 on both sides. Negative 4 is less than or equal to v, or x. It should have been an x. Just can't write. Which is less than 3. Same thing I would have got over here. So if I would have separated them into two problems, I would have ended up in the end putting it all back together, which is the same thing I got over here when I just worked the whole thing at once. So again, if you want to, I'm not even sure what Alex does. If they write it down two ways, they probably have an alternate solution. I prefer this way because it's less work than having to do that. So I minus the 4 from both sides. I divided by the 4 on both sides, and I have it solved. I still have to graph my solution. If I have the less than or equal to, I have the filled in circle. If I just have the less than, I have the open circle. The x is between my two numbers, so I'm shading between my two end marks. Number 17 is one that has an or. To me, when I read that or, it tells me that when I get done with my answer, I'm either going this way or this way. It's not going to be in the middle. It's the two opposite ends. But we should get that when we solve it anyway. So on this one, we have two separate equations. We just have to solve them both separately. 4x plus 1 is less than or equal to negative 15. 3x minus 5 is greater than 1. I'm just going to solve my first one. So starting out, I've got to minus my 1. 4x is less than or equal to negative 16. And then, of course, divide by my 4. X is less than or equal to negative 4. Then I'm going to solve my other one. Got to move my 5, so I'm going to add the 5. 3x is greater than 6. Divide by my 3. X is greater than 2. I do my end marks first before I do any shading. This one has the equal to bar, so on the negative 4, I have that filled in dot. This one doesn't have the equal to, so on the 2, I have my open circle. But I'm less than the negative 4, means I'm going to the left. Greater than the 2 means I'm going to the right. And you can see that you ended up, since it was an or, going in the two opposite directions. Ors always go the opposite direction, and is in the middle. Number 18, back to one of those compound ones that says 7 is less than 2x plus 5. which is less than or equal to 17. So if I just solve that all together, the first thing I want to do is, you want Amy? First thing I should do here is minus the 5. So I'm going to get rid of the 5 from the middle, and I'm going to minus the 5 from both sides of my equation. So 2 is less than 2x, which is less than or equal to 12 then. Now I'm going to divide by 2. Again, I'm dividing by 2 on both ends. So 1 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 6. So on the 1, what kind of end mark do I have? What kind of end mark do I put on the 1? The open circle, because I'm not equal to the 1, so I put an open circle on that one. On the 6, filled in circle. And where am I going to shade? In between those two dots, because x is in the middle of the 1 and the 6.